What's up, fellas? This is Brian with Superman's Comics in collaboration with Comic Book Speculation and Investing. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about my weekly picks for comics that are coming out Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. Last week was a pretty slow week. This week isn't too much better, but it seems to be picking up a bit. So let's go ahead and get this kicked off. Kicking us off this week, we have Batman number 24. This is Aftermath. It picks up right after the Button story arc. Gotham City's at peace, but war is coming. Armed with terrifying knowledge gained from the mysterious Button, Batman prepares for the coming storm by making a proposition to one of his enemies, one that will change everything for the Dark Knight and his allies. There's a regular cover for this. There's also a one-for-one variant by Tim Sale. Next, we have Deathstroke number 20. This is going to be the epilogue to the Lazarus contract story arc, as Deathstroke picks up the pieces of his life following the traumatic events of last month's Lazarus contract, a threat years in the making boys of the service when an old friend becomes a mortal foe. There's a regular cover for this. There's also a one-for-one variant by Shane Davis. Here we have Harley Quinn number 21. This is going to be part 1 to the Red Roses story arc. In this issue, Red Tool's done waiting for Harley to take him seriously. Poor Sap's hopelessly in love with her, and it's time he made his move. There's a regular cover for this, which is so-so, but what I really love about these Harley Quinn covers is the Frank Cho one-for-one variants. If you can find those or pick those up, make sure you do. Injustice 2 number 3. A raid on Stryker's prison by a newly formed Suicide Squad does the unthinkable and releases Superman from his cell. Meanwhile, Harley Quinn encounters someone she never expected to see again, and Damian Wayne is shocked by the appearance of someone he never even knew existed. I don't know if you guys have played Injustice 2 video game yet, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Or if you've read the Injustice comics before, you're really missing out if you haven't picked them up. The writing by Tom Taylor on these is absolutely great, so I'm going to continue to pick this one up as well. Nightwing number 22. This is going to be part 3 to the Blockbuster story arc. Blockbuster's return to Blood Name has rocked the foundation of the criminal organization, and Nightwing stands in the middle of the chaos. There's a regular cover for this. There's also a one-for-one variant by Casey Jones. And looking at both of these covers, I feel like I've seen this Blockbuster guy before, but I can't really picture where. I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me sometime. Anyways, great comic. Been reading it. Love the story so far. Advise you guys to pick it up. Superman number 24. This is going to be part 5 to the Black Dawn story arc. The Man of Steel faces the one foe he refuses to fight, his son. An emerging new ability for Superboy proves deadly to Superman as the promise of power appears to lead John Kent to betray his father. There's a comic I've been looking forward to reading since it was in previews a couple months ago. I can't wait to get my hands on this. There's a regular cover by Ryan Sook. There's also a one-for-one variant by Jorge Jimenez. And this is going to be my pick of the week, guys. Wonder Woman Steve Trevor number 1. This is written by Tim Seeley. It's going to cover the tumultuous partnership that Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman have had over the years. You're also going to get a hint at where it's going in the future, and if these two finally admitted what they're meant for each other, or do fates have other ideas. There's a regular cover for this. There's also a variant cover, a one-for-one variant by Yannick Paquette. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Amazing Adventures Robotanimals number 1. Baxter Stockman's looking to become the new major villain on the streets. His first step to world domination, turn the mutanimals into robots. There's a regular cover for this by Chad Thomas. There's a Billy Martin subscription cover for this. There's also an incentive variant for this as well. Exterminate number 4. The first 3 issues of this comic have been absolutely fantastic. I love reading this every month. In this issue, as Thea's guerrilla warfare against the Pez Nina intensifies, her father comes face to face with the man who killed his wife. Reborn number 6. This is going to be the finale of the miniseries. It's an action-packed climax sees Bonnie taking revenge on past enemies and finding her husband Harry with Big Tom and Roy Boy by her side. There's a regular Greg Capullo cover for this. There's a variant Greg Capullo cover, and there's also an incentive sketch Greg Capullo cover as well. Walking Dead number 168. It's titled The Road's End. Nothing is more damaging than misplaced trust. A couple interesting things about this comic. The issue also closely resembles the cover of issue 103, and Sherry appears on the cover despite dying in issue 166, which was most likely done to avoid spoilers. This is also the 4th time a character has appeared alive on a cover after having already died, the first being a cat, who appeared in the issue 124 despite having died in issue 123. The second one is Alpha, who appeared on the cover of 157 despite dying in issue 156. And the third being Gabriel, who appeared on the cover of 159 despite dying in 158. All New Guardians of the Galaxy number 3. Gamora, the most dangerous person in the galaxy and the Guardians' resident woman of mystery, has been hiding something from her teammates. What is her secret quest and how did it find her? This has a guest artist in Fraser Irving. There's a regular cover. There's a Chris Anka Mary Jane variant. There's also an incentive Fraser Irving variant where it looks like Gamora's been eating some Cheetos. Avengers number 8. Once and for all, the Avengers have to decide whether the infamous Iron Man is friend or foe. It's hard to trust an ally you've been fighting against for years, but the Avengers are going to have to. There's a beautiful regular cover for this by Alex Ross, but what I want to bring your attention to is there's also a Michael Allred Mary Jane variant for this, which is a cover swipe of Avengers 57, the first appearance of Vision. Here we have Darth Vader number 1. Darth Vader starring in his own comic series. Again. This comic's going to ship with a crap load of different covers. There's a regular cover. There's a John Tyler Christopher action figure cover. There's a Scotty Young baby cover. There's a blank variant cover. There's an incentive Phil Noto era variant cover. There's an incentive movie variant cover. There's an incentive Adi Granov variant cover. There's also an incentive Mark Brooks homage variant. Not to mention a bunch of store exclusives that are going to be floating around out there. So find out which cover you like and go ahead and try to pick that up. Secret Empire Brave New World number 1. Steve Rogers, who's Captain America, Liberty's most dedicated defender, is actually the supreme leader of Hydra. Faced with this adversity, the world's heroes have two choices: stand and fight or fall in line. This comic, you get to see how Earth's protectors come to grips with this earth-shattering revelation in an action-packed first issue covering Gwenpool, Giant Man, and Steve's oldest allies. There's a regular cover, there's a John Cassidy teaser variant, and there's a Chris Samney variant. To me, I'm putting this out there so you guys see it, but I just see it as a money-making grab for Marvel. But if you guys like this storyline, go and pick it up. Baby Teeth number 1. This is a new comic coming out of Aftershock Comics. It's written by Donny Cates. Donny Cates is absolutely blowing up right now. His work on Guy Country, his work on Redneck, both of those from Image, is absolutely fantastic. They're blowing up on the secondary market, but this is a new series. It's about Sadie Ritter, who's 16 years old, and she's 9 months pregnant, and she's scared out of her sweet, nerdy mind. Having a baby that young is tough, but with the support of her loving family behind her, everything should be okay. Oh yeah, and also her baby is the Antichrist, and it's going to break down the barriers between the earthly and demonic planes and unleash eternal suffering to all of humankind. There's a regular cover for this. There's also a variant for this by Elizabeth Torque. Also, there's a crap load of store variants out there floating around for this as well. So while everyone's out there buying up copies of Baby Teeth number 1 this week, make sure you also pick up a copy of Pestilence number 2 because it might fly under the radar. Issue number 1 is fantastic, and this issue looks to be the same. In this issue, Roderick Helms and his men of Fiat Lux have set off on their mission to save Europe from the zombie plague that infests it. But as they arrive in Rome, will the undead hordes that await them put an end to their quest before it even begins? This is written by Frank Thierry, who also wrote Marvel vs. Capcom, Wolverine, and Deadpool, and it's also illustrated by Disney illustrator Oleg Okonev. Jazz Maynard number 1. This comes from indie publisher Magnetic Press. Jazz Maynard is a trumpeter. He also hides a variety of skills that's best kept secret. It's these skills he uses when he discovers his long-lost sisters in the grip of New York sex traffickers. On a mission to rescue her and return her home, a labyrinth of trouble opens up beneath his feet, dropping him into a web of intrigue and danger that most men would not survive. Jazz Maynard is not most men. Street Fighter vs. Darkstalkers number 2. In this issue, Chun-Li and Ken are trapped in dark dimensions full of ghouls, demons, and monstrosities. And things only go from bad to worse with the arrival of Lord Raptor, the heavy metal god of the undead. This comic's going to ship with 4 different covers. There's a regular cover, there's a Midnight Bliss variant cover, there's a movie poster incentive variant, and there's also another incentive variant for this as well. Heathen number 4. This comes from Vault Comics. Issues 1 through 3 were great reads, and they're selling really well in the secondary market. A lot of that's due to great story and very low print runs. This issue is going to ship with a regular cover, but there's also an incentive variant. I believe it's a 1 in 10. So if you get your hands on either of those, pick them up. So there you have it, guys. Those are my picks for comics coming out this Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. You know what to do by now. If you feel like there's titles I might have missed, please comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoy watching this video, click that thumbs up button so I know you like it. And as always, if you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Appreciate all the love I've been getting. Share this with your friends. Hey, sharing is caring, guys. One more thing. If you guys like listening to podcasts, there's a podcast I like to share with you guys. It's called CBSI Presents Tales from the Flip Side. It even has yours truly in it. But every other Sunday night, we go live around 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and we discuss everything. If you guys like video games, we got that. If you guys like comic books, we got that. If you guys like toys, we got that. If you guys just like pop culture and a bunch of guys talking around, talking smack, we got that. Be advised, there is explicit language in this podcast, so no youngsters, or if they are, you got to tell them earmuffs until the podcast is over. Either way, guys, I'll put links in the description of this video for you guys so you can get to it. We also have a Google Plus community. In that community, you can talk about topics that you want to hear on the podcast or give recommendations. Either way, this is Brian from Simple Man's Comics in collaboration with Comic Book Speculation and Investing, and I'll see you guys next week.